Hey there, make sure to leave feedback. Enjoy. Looking at the mountain of skulls, the protagonist thought that everyone wants to live. Bloody ribbons were fluttering among the skeletons. A trident was lying near a human leg. We see a bloody court. A flower was lying on the ground. The protagonist watched as a sword hung from a corpse's hand, thinking that otherwise he would not have fought so hard to get there. A bright dagger was lying on the ground. A sword was lying near a dead man. A guy was walking down the corridor with a serious look. Entering the room, he said that he had finally made it there. After 99 attempts, this time he would reach the end. Alex looked at the many monsters, thinking that this was the final 20th round, the guardian golems of this stage. Watching how the enemies were holding their weapons, the protagonist thought that the room was filled with large figures, which were the guardians of this room. It seemed like they were guarding the door behind them. The protagonist accumulated dark mana in his hand, creating his weapon. He was sure that the guards wouldn't just let him pass. The golem's eyes lit up, and the monsters swarmed forward. One of the enemies cut down a column. He confidently ran forward and then knelt down. Frowning, he activated the death seal. A mark appeared above his opponent. Alex was surrounded by mana as the protagonist rushed toward the monster. He cut its neck and jumped back. He thought about how using the death seal on enemies would work. Grinning, the MC thought about attacking him successfully. The mark above the golem emitted light. Alex watched as the seal affected the guards, thinking that it would inflict 100% additional damage. The opponents extended their hands. The MC moved among the monsters, thinking that the guards had crowded together. Swinging his weapon, the MC activated the Night of Death. Darkness spread around the monsters. The golem's eyes lit up. He watched as the enemies looked around, realizing it was complete darkness. They couldn't see anything at all. Alex quickly swung his weapon. The MC blinded the enemies with a flash. Face was serious. The guy flew in front of his opponent, thinking that they didn't even let him breathe. Dodging the attack, Alex said that he was fast. The MC ran past the monsters, thinking that fire and ice attacks were coming at him. They were constantly attacking him, so he attacked them back with a fierce look in his eyes. Frowning, the MC used acceleration. He quickly took off from the ground and moved around the guards. One of the enemies released flames from his hand. Alex dodged the attack, but a fireball still approached him, and the flames brushed past him. Smiling, the MC said that it would be difficult for them to hit him. Suddenly, he looked down in alarm. The guy moved through a bright stream, wondering if there was a magic circle on the floor. A huge ice flow surrounded him with ice mana, and Alex realized that he couldn't dodge it. The MC was trapped inside a structure like a mountain made of ice. The guard stepped forward and swung his hand. The MC looked down, tense. Frowning, he activated Moonlight Destruction. A bright light spread through the ice. The mana cut the golem in half. The guy stood on a piece of ice, looking over his shoulder. Alex thought that it was close. Even he would have suffered if he had taken that attack head-on. The MC stood in the dark energy, thinking that this fight would drag on forever. If he kept fighting one-on-one, it would never end, so he decided to finish it with a single blow. A monster pulled back a fire arrow. A magic circle appeared above the guard. The MC broke the ice with his foot and looked back, saying that he would activate Moonlight Destruction. He released a burst of mana as the enemies used their attacks. The golems fell from the impact. Jumping slightly, Alex said that they were finally finished. The MC entered the passage, saying that it was time to see what the guards were protecting. He walked into the room and looked up, asking what kind of place it was. The guy looked around the dark area, thinking that it looked like a temple. He wondered if he should go through the door or if something would appear from there. Alex climbed the steps and said that he would find out as soon as he entered. A glow appeared from the floor. A magic circle surrounded the MC. The MC looked up with a slight smile, wondering if he could finally finish the game. A notification popped up, saying that there was a requirement to enter the boss room. A screen appeared in front of him, stating that at least 5 players were needed to open it. He looked worried and asked what was going on. The system then reported that the player's entry into the boss room had been confirmed. A glowing barrier appeared, and another message followed, stating that due to failure to meet the entry requirements, the player would die in 5 seconds. After hitting the barrier, Alex asked what it meant. Frowning, the MC shouted that this was too much. He looked at his hand as it began to disappear and said that this couldn't be happening. Was it really going to end like this? His palm slowly dissolved into space. The guy frowned. The system reported that he had died. A notification appeared, stating that he had fulfilled the requirements to activate the time reversal rune. The game notified him that he would return to the very beginning. Another window appeared, showing that the rune had been used. The screen reported that the player had used up all his attempts and that the rune would now disappear. The system then announced that the 100th regression had begun.